caught in the crossfire. It's caught in the
Come on, mate, and we're going to be replacing a clutch and, well, clutch and flywheel and a little Alfa MiTo. Same drill as always, battery and battery tray out of the way first. Now the battery and the battery tray is out of the way, let's move around to the gear cables down the bottom here. And they should just, little plastic clips on them, and they slide back and they hook out of that mount there. And we're going to get our trim removal tool and just pop them off the joints, like so. Now let's move the slave cylinder off the gearbox and we can just tuck it out the way, and that's held on with 213s. And we're going to get an 18mm in on our rugger dugger, and we're just going to back this nut off ever so slightly. That'll probably do, yeah, perfect like that. Then we can get the vehicle in the air and then everything from underneath. Now that we've got the vehicle half raised, we've got the wheels off. You know these lock-in centre dry shaft nuts, when you remove them, see how these little tabs are damaged? Well, watch this. Swap them around from the passenger side to the driver's side, and when you put that nut back on, them tabs are going to be in different places so you can use them. Now that we've got the vehicle fully raised, we need to remove the bottom ball joints, drain the gearbox oil out of the gearbox, out of the bung there, ball joint that side, get the dry shafts out, and then we can make a start on removing the bellows and bolts. You know, it's so nice just to be able to do a nice little gearbox like this without having to strip the whole car down and make it into a big job. Anyway, I like it. Now as you can see, I've got the dry shafts out of the way, 2 start motor bolts at the bottom, and there was one right at the top. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. It was just tucked behind the start motor. Now we can make a move now, get a lovely little apprentice, lower the engine and gearbox down, obviously remove the nut that you'd slackened off originally from the top with your hand. It makes it just a little bit easier. Then we can jump around now and undo these 3 bolts on the gearbox mount. Now we've undone all the bellows and bolts apart from one on that top left hand corner. We've got a transmission stand now. I could possibly lift it out myself, but I am nearly 40 and my back ain't getting any better. So we're going to buzz that 18 out now and get this box out. And there we go, that is one gearbox out of the way. All we've got to do now is drop it down, and can we get it to spin on the way down? Well, a little bit of a spin. Anyway, that's a gearbox out. Now the gearbox is out of the way. This car was absolutely, again, vibrating really bad through the vehicle. And in second gear, as you were pulling under load, it was making a like that sort of noise. And if you have a look, the dual mass flywheel has absolutely shat itself. See the gap there at the top? And we've got absolutely nothing at the bottom. So again, another failed dual mass. Let's get it all off. And that's the clutch out of it. It's not bad, to be honest with you. It's got a few thousand miles left in it, but false economy to put one in without the other. Now that we've got the clutch pack out of the way, you can clearly see that the bearing inside there has collapsed. Going by the state of it, look at the bolt holes there. And now I've just had a look at it as well. The gearbox, it's got a little bit of wear on it, but I'm hoping that that thrust bearing is going to be alright in that guide tube, because you can't replace it. It is part of the box. And there you have it, that is one flywheel off. What I've had to do is get a big hammer and a punch and punch it right over, sort of thing. Now I know that when these do fail and they do spin, it can be a bit of a nightmare getting off. Anyway, we have got it off. And there you have it, that is the brand new flywheel that has turned up, and some new bolts. And that is the flywheel on. We need to get it torqued up now. So what I'm going to do, get a little Allen key as always, through a bellows and bolt hole, or in this case a start motor hole, and it'll just lock in into the ring gear. Might have to just give it a little bit of a twist-a-rooney to make it fit. Then we can jump on our torque wrench and get it torqued up beautifully. Eventually my clutch plate has turned up. We have got it lined up. Well, this tool is absolutely brilliant. I've had it years. About 13 quid off Amazon or eBay, one of them. I can't remember. Right, let's get this clutch plate and pressure plate on and torqued up to 15 Newton meters. And there we go, that is a clutch pack all built back up. We've got the date and we've hashtagged it as well. Let's jump around to the thrust bearing, clean the guide tube with a little bit of 3M Scotch pad and a little bit of red rubber grease, so everything nice slides nice and easy. Right, let's get this gearbox back on there. And there you have it, that is the gearbox all put back in now. All we've got to do is put the start motor back in and literally just box it all back up. And there you have it, that is one car all put back together, battery's connected now. All we're going to do is jump in the car and give it a big try-a-rooney. Now we're in the car, as always, before we start it up, give your clutch pedal a good few pumps just to make sure that you've got no restrictions there and everything's fitted as it should be. Get on the key. There, listen to that. That's awful. Anyway, put it in first gear and give it a big try. Absolutely perfect. And there you have it. That is one clutch replacement on an Alfa MiTo. The reason why we changed it was because the actual flywheel had failed. Anyway, just got to torque the wheels up now, take it down the road for a little bit of a test, right? And yeah, we're going to get it sent.